Good evening, everyone. Welcome to this call. If it's your first time that you're here, and maybe you don't know me, my name's Daniel van Zyl, and as you can hear, that is as Afrikaans as it comes. And tonight, I have the privilege of sharing with you with regards to our level of faith. And tonight, I'm going to take that into the home fellowship group, and I prepared us a little assistance and help to understand a small home fellowship group a little better, and to see if we can pull this through into the home fellowship without talking about that. So tonight we talk about the home fellowship meeting, and we're talking with people that want to be home fellowship facilitators, and people that want to facilitate small groups. And if you want to facilitate a small group, it doesn't matter what the topic is. It does not matter what the topic is. Although tonight our topic is on the shield of faith, but it doesn't matter what the topic is. It's important to understand the basics of a small group. And tonight I want you to grab a pen and paper, as I'm going to just give you a few words and a little explanation about how to facilitate a small group and how to make people be accepted and acceptant of a group, and acceptant of themselves in a group. Because if people don't feel that they're accepted in a group, they isolate themselves. And although they're in a group, people can isolate. Have you ever seen someone isolate themselves in a group? Maybe you are one of those people that can isolate yourself in a group yourself. I know some people get that perfectly right, and I can do that well myself. But a home fellowship is about meeting the needs of the people. So if we talk about home fellowship, and remember, we're busy talking and teaching on home fellowship facilitators and how to facilitate. If you and I have in the back of our mind the idea, the concept that the home fellowship is about meeting the needs of the people, we are halfway there. Because we have a home fellowship because we want to accommodate the people who want to get a place where they can get together, want to get a place where they can get the word, get into the word, a place where they can be congruent with themselves, a place where they can be honest with themselves and share where they are and who they are with self. So remember, if you want to do a home fellowship, if you want to be a home fellowship facilitator, remember, there's always someone that will be better at it than you. There's always someone that will be able to do it better than you. And there's always someone that will tell you that they can do it better than you. But you know what? Just be accommodator for them. Just smile and wave. Just accept that. Don't attack them. Don't tell them why you should do it and why you're good at it. It's not an attack. It's just some people have to always tell you that they're better than you at whatever you do, because that's how they find themselves. You know what? You need those people in your group as well. You need those people in your group as well. Why? Because we need them, because they will always tell us where we're at. They will always tell us where they perceive the meeting is at. They will always tell us where the people in the room is at. And we sometimes need a check. And sometimes those people can be checks and balances. So I want to be positive tonight, but just remember, there's always someone that will write an email and tell you that they can do better than you. There's always someone that can tell you that they can interpret stuff better than you. You know what's the key? You are the home fellowship facilitator. You are the person with the people. You are the person with the people in the room. You are the person doing the effort, assisting and helping other people. And if you will listen to people's negative comments and people telling you that you're not doing that right or you're doing this wrong, you will never ever be a home facilitator. So I want to encourage you. But tonight, let's go talk about the words that I've isolated for this evening for us to look at. And the first word that I want to, if someone hears about your home fellowship, if someone hears about you getting together with people in a small group, it doesn't matter which congregation, which church, in which community you are. People want to know certain things before they will join the group, before they will be happy in joining the group, before they they will join the group. And the first word that I want to just use a few words so that it's simple and easy for us to go duplicate and understand it. The first word that I want to leave with you tonight is the word benefit. People want to know, what will they benefit from joining your group? And you know what? Just like what we shared tonight about the shield of faith, just the same as what we shared about the shield of faith and the gifts of the Spirit. Every one of you have got different gifts. Every one of you operate differently in the gifts. Every one of you have a measure of faith, but our level of faith differs all the time. The good news is you and I need to understand what's the benefit for people being in my home group. What will people benefit? And if you as the home fellowship facilitator just continually think, the word benefit must always be a word on your mind when you think about your home fellowship. What will people benefit from being in this home fellowship? If you talk to someone about joining your group, will you be able to just give them a one-liner benefit without the 10-minute talk? Just a one-liner benefit. What's the benefit for people to join your group? If people hear about your group, the first thing they think about is, but will I benefit? Will it be worth my time? Remember, we only have this little time. Will I benefit? Why join this group? Family. People join a home fellowship because they want a place where they can become part of the family. A small group is a family. And so that means we have to work on allowing people to feel like they belong. Family belong. Family can talk to one another. Family can be honest and congruent with themselves. So we have to create the connection. So make sure that in your home fellowship, you create the connection between the people. You allow them to connect with one another. Make sure that you allow them to find the Holy Spirit there. That is the main connector. But remember, I cannot, when people come in and I greet them and say hello to them, I cannot now immediately go and pray. And I have to wait until everyone's there, make them comfortable, make them feel happy. And remember, every group has got a different ethos, because every group is for different group of people assembling. Some groups are older people, some groups are younger people, some groups are people with kids, some groups are people with lots of kids. And we have many stories of home fellowships around kids, many stories. And I can tell you many stories about kids, because kids, whenever there's people, whenever there's life, there are kids, because that's what we do. We have children to build into our children, to sow into them, and to bring them up as adults that can take up the responsibility of helping and assisting and being there for someone else. So in the word benefit, I want to leave one concept with you, and that is you have to give the people the reason to act. The benefit, why join this? That's the reason to act. The benefit of the small home fellowship, the small group, is the benefit, the reason to act. The reason to act. The home fellowship should get the person out of their being reserved and not doing, not acting. Remember, Dr. Frost always say we're in an army, and we're in an army that do, and that's why we have a home fellowship on a Wednesday evening. That's why we go into the small groups, because it's a place where I can act. It's a place where I can do. And one of the benefits of a small group, it is the place where you can act. It's a place where you're safe. It's a place where you can come and congruent and go come show us what you've learned. Come show us where you come from. Come show us what the Holy Spirit has given to you. The next word, so the first word that I talked about is benefit. So you as a home fellowship facilitator should always think, what's the benefit? Because I should be able to, in one line, tell people the benefit. The next thing is acceptance. Acceptance. People, if someone think about a home fellowship, they think, you know what, will I benefit from going there? And the next thing, but will I be accepted? Will I be accepted in the group? Will the people accept me? Will I be accepted? Will I be accepted in the group? Because people want to be accepted. People want to fit in. And the next thing that I want you to think about is, what level of acceptance will the people experience when they walk into the home? when they walk into your group? If it's a digital group as we have at the moment, will there be acceptance? And one of the things that we always hear on a Wednesday evening is, you know what, it was so easy. We got into the small group, and there were people talking to us, and the next thing we were accepted in the group. The next week, the next moment they started praying for us. Acceptance. So a person going, and I want you to think of the person coming to join your home fellowship. What is the reason that you give them, to show them, to allow them to find acceptance in the group? Can they be congruent? Do I have to perform at a certain level? Do I have to sound like a certain pastor? Do I have to sound as if I know everything in the word? Do I have to sound as if I've got everything together? Because that's not congruent, because we don't have everything together. We human beings, we live a life. We don't have everything together, and that's why we need one another. So we need to make sure that acceptance is a high priority. You have to create connections. You have to get the people to connect to one another. Make sure you introduce the person. Make sure you introduce them to the people in the home fellowship. Make sure you immediately connect them to the person in your home fellowship that will be the connector to them in the group. Because some people, just with who they are and where they come from, are just easier to connect. Just allow them to connect. Give them that connection, so that they can connect with the people in the group. People that connect with people go back to be with those people. And that is part of a successful home fellowship. The third word that I want to leave with you tonight is friendship. Friendship. We have to build friendship in home fellowships. People are looking for friendship. People need friendship. COVID has been devastating on friendships. People need to cultivate new friendships. People need to know that people are friendly towards them. People, when a person, and remember I say every word, we have to think of what the person will think when we invite them to our home fellowship. What's their thinking with regards to the word? Will they want to know us? Because that's what a person thinks. If you invite them to, will those people will they be interested in knowing who we are? Will they be interested to knowing where we come from? Because we have to create an us in the group. The moment that the people come into your home fellowship, make sure that you use the words of us. Us as a group. Talk about us, not me. Not me. It's never, ever, ever, ever about the home facilitator. Remember, I always told you, and every time I said this. Tonight I didn't have that slide on, so at least I'm learning, not giving you the same all the time. But the key is, it's not about you. Being a home facilitator, it's not about you. You are the least important person in the group. It's about the people in the room. And friendship, cultivating friendship in a group is exactly that. And the key is to not gossip. Don't allow any person in your small group, in your home fellowship, to gossip. Because if a new person comes in and here we gossip about someone else, they immediately know, but these people, when I leave here, what are they going to say about me? And I promise you, I've been to places where that was one of the issues. So the key is, don't gossip, because we want to cultivate friendship. We want to cultivate friendship. Because we don't want people to think, but what will they talk about me? Because we are human beings. A home fellowship is, we have to be acceptance of people so that we can build their level of faith, so that we can get them to measure up for themselves in their level of faith, so they measure up in their level of faith because of their interaction with us in the home fellowship. And the key is to not gossip. Never, ever, ever gossip. Don't say, I don't want to gossip about this. Never about this. If you butt this, you butt out. You don't say it, because it's not congruent. It's not conducive to creating friendship. So as a home fellowship leader, facilitator, I want you to look at the benefit for the people, the acceptance, the friendship, and the next word is the expectation. As the home fellowship leader, I want you to always think of what will the people's expectation be if they come to our group. Because remember, you have a specific group. You have a group that's specifically tailored for the area that you're in, the kind of people, the level people that you are with. And you will get people of all kinds of licorice, all sorts, all kinds of people visiting. But you have to go, sorry, my apology, and have to go find, what will the people's expectation be if we invite them? What will people expect of me as the home fellowship facilitator? But what will people expect of this home fellowship? Not the facilitator, the fellowship, the people being together. What will someone expect? What will someone expect? And because you know what, if you go think of the person's position, remember every time I say go think of the person's position, I'm now invited to this home fellowship. What's my expectation? Because if someone invite me to come and attend and visit their home fellowship, I have an expectation, isn't it? That you have an expectation when you come to a Wednesday evening. Do you have an expectation? So I, as the home fellowship facilitator, should always have cognizance and think about what are people's expectation getting into the room. What will people want to get out of us tonight? What will people expectation be? And one of the expectations that people want is, what is required of me in joining the group? So I have to put people at ease. You have to put people at ease when they come in, when there's a first one, someone that joining your group for the first time, visiting your group, just come visiting. Don't talk to them as if they in the group and you're going to have a long home fellowship with them. Allow them the space to tonight measure themselves against every one of these words to know whether they want to find a home in this home fellowship. Don't immediately talk to people as if they, and some people find it very heartening to, immediately I talk to people as if we're going to do that and that. No, allow them the space. People visiting a home fellowship for the first time, allow them to live out their expectation of coming to learn to find what I will find here. Allow them to find the common goal of your home fellowship. So the key is to, when someone come in, allow them. You are so welcome, and should you want to be back, you are welcome. And we trust we see you next week again. But don't tell them, yes, we see you next week. Okay, I will be at your house on Monday. Allow them the space, because people have an expectation. But you, as the home fellowship facilitator, should always think of, what will people's expectation be? What were your expectation of going to a home fellowship? Because when I receive someone new in the group, I need to touch on their expectation. I need to maybe give them an opportunity to tell us what are their expectation. Some people come to a home fellowship with a serious expectation. Some people just come to a home fellowship, and there they find whatever they find. They don't have an expectation. They don't pressure people into something, but find a common goal. Part of expectation is to find a common goal. Find something that people can attach to in your life group. Find a common ethos, a common theme for your life group, so that people can find a common goal, so that they have something to grab hold of as an expectation of, this is what I'm going to get being part of this group. Talk about your next action plan. Talk about what you're going to do in your home fellowship, what you have planned, and don't tell them they have to be there. Just talk about what you have planned for the next time. If people want to get involved, they will show you, they will give you. Just explore the situation, but make sure that you accommodate people's expectation. Talk about the last church service. One of the key things in a home fellowship is to talk about the last service. Make sure you always have a little bit of time in your home fellowship where you talk about the last service of the congregation, where the congregation was together. And I know in Father's Heart Digital Church, we do that digitally. Always allow, because that's a common ground. Someone new visiting your church was in the service, did listen to the service of last week. Just touch on a common ground. If they did not listen, don't ask them, have you been in the service? No, just talk about the service. Just talk about the word. So make sure you always find a common ground for this group of people that you can refer to in your little group. And the last word that I want to leave with us tonight, I see time is running out, is value. The last word that I want to emphasize to you as the home fellowship facilitator is value. People want to value what they do, and people want to value their contribution. And when you think as a home fellowship facilitator, think of the person that come visit your group as the home facilitator, think as they think is, will I be able to contribute? People want to know whether they will be able to add value to your group. So we need to make sure that we in our home fellowship group need to allow people to add value, need to show people. And in the first evening that people are in your home fellowship, they will know whether you have space for them to contribute, whether you have space and allow other people to add, to contribute, to bring to the fore what they've learned, what they've experienced. And therefore, we have to make a home fellowship an experience based on where are you coming from? What have you learned? Where did you get your input from? What is your background with Christ? What happened? What's your story? Because that will help and assist people to understand that they have value. People think when they go to a fellowship, what's the value that I will get out of this? But the key is, what value can I contribute to this? Did you hear the difference? What's the value that I can contribute into this fellowship? What's the value? Will this group of people find value from me? Thank you, Manuela. I see that you've given the words to us there. Give people a reason to act, contribution so that they can make this their place that they want to be. It's imperative that I give people the opportunity to show that they can add value. You can be in here. And tonight we talked about the shield of faith. And in talking about the shield of faith, in talking about faith, it's imperative that we help people to find space where they can contribute in the group and show their value, show their understanding of faith. Just say something that built your faith. Talk about something. What was the last thing that skyrocketed your faith? What's the last thing that impacted your level of faith? What do you do as your impactor of faith? What's the thing that you do that will change your level of faith in an instant? And the key is that we get people to participate, to be part of a group, to grow into a group, and to understand that it's not about the home group facilitator, but it's about the people in the home group, being congruent to one another, finding family, finding a place where they can contribute, finding a place of value, finding a place where they will be valued, and finding a place where they can benefit, where they can find acceptance, where they can find friendship, where they can come and show and live out their expectation to bring value to this little group. And I trust that tonight, in the 5 words, 6 words, I gave you 5 words, in the 5 words that I gave you, that you will find value in setting up a home fellowship and in helping people to build up their level of faith. Because a home fellowship is a place where we build up people's level of faith. It is the best place to find the shield of faith. It's the best place to come and train your in faith, to lift up your level of faith, to come and operate in the gifts of the Spirit, so that you can apply your level of faith in every one of the gifts. Because in every one of those gifts, you have a different level of faith. And which one of those gifts is there someone in the small home fellowship that's got an exceptional level of faith? In which one of those gifts do we have someone with an exceptional level of faith? Because it's not always about the home fellowship facilitator. It's about the person with a level of faith in that gifting, so that we can make use of that gifting, so that we can spur that gifting with everyone else, so that we can assist and help. But imperative, what did we talk about tonight? As a home fellowship facilitator, I have to always think of what the person coming into the group, what will their question be for each one of these words? What will the answer be that they're looking for in each one of these words? What is it that they can benefit? Will they be accepted? Will there be friendship? What are their expectations? what value will they bring to the party, and to think of that from the group's point of view, but also from the person coming in's point of view, so that you can interpret that. And the key is to allow them to act, to pull them to act, to allow them to show their gifting, to allow them to show their level of understanding the gifts of the Spirit and their operation in the gifts, so that we can know where their level of faith is. And remember, we're not a thermometer. We don't go and find people's level of faith. I don't go measure you by 10 questions and now I know your level of faith. We are not thermometers. We are thermostats. We measure the room. We measure the level of faith in the room, and we work on the level of faith. We change, we up, we lift, we build the level of faith in the room. We don't, like a thermometer, measure the temperature in the room, measure the level of faith in the room, and that's what we work on, and tell people that that's your level of faith. You have to act, you have to do this. We thermostats. We read the level of faith in the room, and we act, and we do, and we give them the tools and the assistance to lift their level of faith, because that is what a home fellowship facilitator should do and do. Lord, we just come in this evening, and I want to thank you for helping us and assisting us to understand the shield of faith as part of the armor of God. And Lord, to help us, to assist us to be able to go and successfully implement, to successfully go create small groups, to successfully go and duplicate into other people's lives, so that we can help and assist people to understand the gifts and the level of faith in every one of those gifts. Allow them to operate in those gifts and see how they can trigger their level of faith to rise, how they can assist themselves by hearing the word, and how they can assist themselves by hearing the word, and how they can assist themselves by saying the word, by helping someone else, by assisting someone else to lift their level of faith, to rise in the level of faith, Lord, because we know and understand that you have given us a measure of faith. A measure of faith, Lord, not just a little, a measure of faith. And thank you for that, Lord. Lord, help us that we can operate in our level of faith, and that we can build our level of faith in the gifts of the Spirit, so that we can be successful in impacting the world, showing your love, getting people to be together, getting people to care for one another. We thank you for that, Lord. And I send everyone under the sound of my voice forth as a boulder of faith, as a boulder of faith in the days to come. In Jesus' name, amen. Thank you very much for being on the call with us tonight. I trust that there was something for you in this teaching tonight, that you can go, please go, help and assist people. Think all the time. How do I use the shield of faith? How do I build someone's faith? How do I build someone's faith? How do I assist someone to have a better level of faith? And it always comes by impacting your level of faith, by sharing faith. Faith is one of those funny, crazy things we don't understand, because the more I give it, the more I have of it. You cannot give away your faith. You cannot be empty of faith by giving away faith. You have a measure of faith. Go and gift it to someone, because you cannot outgive God on your level of faith. Go and give faith. Create people that are standing in the army of faith. Thank you for a great evening. Have a good one. Bye-bye.